All right, well, thank you. Thank you so much for being present here today. And we had a great healing already. So it's like you never know how you enter in here. Everything seems to be fine or not fine at all. It really does not matter. So, yeah, there's no requirements to enter in here. That's so great. So the freedom of that is already amazing. And what I mean by that is this is like you just have to come as you are. You want to, yeah, you want the healing, you want the remembrance of that never anything happened in terms of separation. Well, this is the place for that. It doesn't matter how you enter. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter anything, you know. It really does not matter how you do that. And that is so great. So, welcome in whatever state you are. Welcome in whatever feeling you have, or whatever, yeah, grief you go through, or maybe incredible joy you're experiencing. It all does not matter. So you're welcome, and you're welcome as you are. It's really, it's like, yeah, there's no threshold, there's no requirement, and that is a big relief. So that means that I can show up. That's the only requirement. Show up and just be here. That's it. And of course, when you made the decision to come and to join, something happens to you already, because you were willing to let this come to you once more, and to remember this together once more, you know, just for this moment, to remember that. And so the rewards of that willingness will be beyond measure, really. You know, it's like it's amazing what has been given with the little effort that you give. Like, there's an amazing light and love being offered. And you don't have to do anything for that but showing up and being willing to be there. To say, like, yes, I don't want the stuff that's going on in my own state of being, in my own way of seeing my situation or looking at myself. No, I don't want that any longer. So actually it comes down to that you want to see with Christ vision. You want to have a completely different perspective that has nothing to do with any kind of limitation, pain, disease, disaster, death, lack, guilt, sin, all that stuff. You don't want anything of that. For now you leave all that behind, and here you are. It's like, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know how I'm supposed to do this. But I'm willing, that's all. And that's all that's necessary. So, and that's so great. That's so great. So thank you for showing up. Really great. Thank you. That's everything. Yeah, so, excuse me for that. Maybe a sip of tea. Let's take it easy today, shall we? So I actually want to read some mind training. So from the review, from this little booklet, the review lessons. I would love to start at lesson 23, It's quite a lesson. You'll see. So just use this to let go and to allow something to occur. I can escape from this world by giving up attack thoughts. So we're dealing here with your idea, your perspective on the world. I can escape from this world by giving up attack thoughts. Herein lies salvation and nowhere else. Without attack thoughts, I could not see a world of attack. As forgiveness allows love to return to my awareness, as forgiveness allows love to return to my awareness, I will see a world of peace and safety and joy. And it is this I choose to see in place of what I look on now. I do not perceive my own best interest. I do not perceive that. I do not perceive my own best interest. How could I recognize my own best interest when I do not know who I am? What I think are my best interests will bind me closer to the world of illusions. So I'm willing to follow the guide God has given me to find out what my own best interests are, recognizing that I cannot perceive them by myself. I do not know what anything is for. To me, the purpose of everything is to prove that my illusions about myself are real. It is for this purpose that I attempt to use everyone and everything. It is for this that I believe the world is for. Therefore, I do not recognize its real purpose. The purpose I have given the world has led to a frightening picture of it. Let me open my mind to the real world's real purpose by withdrawing the one I have given it and learning the truth about it. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. How can I know who I am when I see myself as under constant attack? And here it is. Pain, illness, loss, age and death seems to threaten me. All my hopes and wishes and plans appear to be at the mercy of a world I cannot control. Yet perfect security and complete fulfillment are my inheritance. I've tried to give my inheritance away in exchange for the world I see. But God has kept my inheritance safe for me. My own real thoughts will teach me what it is. And here's today's lesson as reviewed. Above all else I want to see. Recognizing that what I see reflects what I think I am, I realize that vision is my greatest need. The world I see attests to the fearful nature of the self-image I have made. If I would remember who I am, it is essential that I let this image of myself go. As it is replaced by truth, vision will surely be given me. And with this vision, I will look upon the world and on myself with charity and love. I'm doing two more. Above all else, I want to see differently. The world I see holds my fearful self-image in place. It guarantees its continuance. While I see the world as I see it now, truth cannot enter my awareness. I would let the door behind this world be opened for me, that I may look past it to the world that reflects the love of God. God is in everything I see. Behind every image I have made, the truth remains unchanged. Behind every veil I've drawn across the face of love, its light remains undimmed. Beyond all my insane wishes is my will, united with the will of my Father. God is still everywhere and in everything forever. And we, who are part of him, will yet look past all appearances and recognize the truth beyond them all. God is in everything I see because God is in my mind, in my own mind, behind all my insane thoughts of separation and attack. There is the knowledge that all is one forever. I have not lost the knowledge of who I am because I have forgotten it. It has been kept for me in the mind of God, who has not left his thoughts, and I, who am among them, am one with them and one with him. I am not the victim of the world I see. How can I be the victim of a world that can be completely undone if I so choose? My chains are loosened. I can drop them off merely by desiring to do so. The prison door is open. I can leave simply by walking out. Nothing holds me in this world. Only my wish to stay keeps me a prisoner. I would give up my insane wishes and walk into the sunlight at last. Alright, so thank you for listening to that, for joining me in that. That is so great. So I got my little book out here. The big book, the big Urtext book. And today I continue, actually, because it's like a great theme, I continue with forgiveness. And so we practiced this last time too, in previous classes. So in all kinds of classes we did this, like forgiveness, such an amazing thing. So now I want to make it really specific. And first I want to start with 2 instructions for miracle workers, and then I'll go to, so from chapter 3, and then I hop over to chapter 24, which says, like this section has the title, Forgiveness of Specialness. And that's such a great part too. That's so great. So this is like you go deeper and deeper into the idea of forgiveness, and not to just analyze, no, actually to apply it and to do something with it for yourself, to set yourself, to see that you're free of the limitations that you imposed upon yourself. That's one way of putting it. So the practice will certainly I'll come back. So I'm starting with the instructions for miracle workers as 3b in the Urtext book. These are just two sections, or 2 paragraphs, sorry, that I want to share. The level adjustment power of the miracle creates the right perception for healing. Until this has occurred, healing cannot be understood. Forgiveness is an empty gesture unless it entails correction. Without this, it is essentially judgment rather than healing. So this is quite a packed paragraph. I'll read it again. The level adjustment power of the miracle creates the right perception for healing. Until this has occurred, healing cannot be understood. Forgiveness is an empty gesture until it entails correction. Without this, it is essentially judgment rather than healing. So where is this pointing to? This is really essential to hear this. Like, where's this pointing to? It's like the level adjustment that takes place with the miracle is like the moment that you are being, say, vertically lifted out of this situation and feel suddenly your connection with your brother, feeling light coming into your mind, that needs to happen in order for you to say, be in the right place to forgive. Otherwise you keep trying to do this on the same level as where it occurs, like, and then it becomes more like a judgment, is what it says here, because it's like, well, yeah, I forgive what happened, you know, I forgive what you did to me, I will forgive that. And that is not the realization that is helpful. It's like, that's not doing anything. So basically there's nothing changing then. There's no correction taking place. And correction, you got to see this not as an you did something wrong, now it needs to be corrected, but more like you're hanging out in a place where the solution is not going to be. So that is the correction of levels in that sense. So it's like there's nothing happening here. And this three-dimensional flat universe, there's nothing happening here that will lift you out of it and recognizing your true relationship. So that is so different. So then forgiveness is an empty gesture. It doesn't mean anything. So you can forgive everyone all the time, like with your idea about this horizontal plane, but that's not going to do anything. So the responsibility is for you to allow this healing, forgiveness, miracle to occur. It's like a sudden shift into invisibility. The horizontal plane, from the horizontal plane into the vertical plane. Like, yeah, that's an essential step. And how do you do that? Because we're talking practicality here. It's like, how do you do that? Like, well, asking for it. That's one. So recognizing, having a miracle mindedness, having a miracle awareness, that becomes one of your options. So it is an option in your mind. See, if you would think that this universe, this flat 3D universe, would give you the solution, or then you know there's no space for miracle. So it needs to be seen for what it is. It's like, okay, well, here there's not going to be a solution to me. So I have to be open to the miracle. I don't know how to do that. It is not under my conscious control, but it certainly has everything to do with loving, with charity, with loving my brother as I know myself to be. In fact, you allow the healing to occur to yourself. In that shift of that, you're already forgiving yourself. So then the whole theme of forgiveness becomes obvious, because there's nobody that you would want anything to do to, realizing that you're completely connected with the universe, with God, with feeling the love of God through you. And also being lifted out of this three-dimensional definition of yourself that felt really like, you know, like this. So this happens by your relaxation into it, by considering the option that that's a possibility, and then in fact not tightening up but relaxing. It's like, is this an option? Oh my God, that's so great. Let's allow that to occur. And whenever that comes, you know, it's like it's not under conscious control. So that is really a basic understanding. That's really great. So I continue in B6 on page 41 of chapter 3, Retraining the Mind, because that's still what we're doing. Miraculous forgiveness is only correction. Miraculous forgiveness is only correction. It has no element of judgment at all. Father, forgive them what they do not know. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And we read this in Luke. In Luke 23 it says here. In no way evaluates what they do. They do not know what they do, but we're not evaluating what they do. It is strictly limited to an appeal to God to heal their minds. There is no reference to the outcome of their misthought. This does not matter. Okay, miraculous forgiveness is only correction. And correction then, like I said, shift in levels, like this way up, instead of trying to solve it here, like this way up, instead of this. So that's very practically expressed then. So that's miraculous forgiveness. Like miraculous forgiveness has nothing to do with what we try to forgive here. Recognizing your true relationship, experiencing it, allowing just enough space in your mind for the light to come in, seeing that that fills your heart with an experience of that. Who could you possibly not forgive? Like, that is an automatic thing that happens at the same time. That doesn't become a doing. It's not based on any judgment at all, because you only feel the love that is flowing through you. So these are the basic understandings that we need today to be able to read what we're going to read. So keep this in mind. I will come back to it probably. Forgiveness of specialness. Now, so what is specialness? Is there a definition somewhere? Oh, so one of the titles here says, specialness as a substitute for love. Love is extension. To withhold the smallest gift is not to know love's purpose. Love offers everything forever. Hold back but one belief, one offering, and love is gone, because you asked the substitute to take its place. So, and that immediately leads to war in that sense. Okay, so love is extension. To withhold the smallest gift is not to know love's purpose. Love offers everything forever. Hold back but one belief, one offering, and love is gone, because you asked a substitute to take its place. So specialness is then the things that you made up to defend yourself, say, against this act that you did, in fact. Like you have an act that you did. You withheld something. In order to give that a place inside yourself, you come up with all kinds of attributes that are helping you to confirm that you didn't do anything wrong, or you did not withheld anything. It was just part of it. So it's like this is the corruption of your mind, so to speak, the specialness. But don't see it as something special in that sense. It is very general in the human way of thinking. Because you're continuously protecting yourself and defending yourself, so you're holding back all the time as a human being. And that hurts, and you know that. So that's really like specialness in its purest form. So recognizing that love is giving everything all the time without holding anything back, coming into your, say, personal, complete extension of it, not holding it back at all, not having any ideas about it, just giving it, that's all. Then you're in the natural flow, you know this. You know, it's like you're in a natural flow of doing this. But withhold one idea, one thing, and you start to disturb that flow, in fact. So now you're going to fill that up. This is what specialness is then. You're going to fill that up with attributes to ease the pain, or to make it acceptable to your own state of horizontal thinking. So now we come back to forgiving that. It's like, okay, forgiveness of specialness. And this is huge, because it really touches the place where you have set up your own identity as a human being. Everything that's related to your self-identity, instead of the, say, universal awareness. So when it's personal, when it's individual, when it's really only your story, so to speak, your identification, this is where we're going to enter into now. It's like in the undoing of that, in the retraining of a different way of looking at yourself, seeing that whatever that was that I got hooked in is a limitation, is something that I feel like it's like inhibiting me. It's really like slowing me down. It's inhibiting me. It is not giving me that flow that I'm actually looking for. So, and then you see, you might recognize this in situations that you were in that were not so great for yourself, that you came up with ideas to come to save yourself, you know, that would give that flow back. At least that's what it suggested to you. It looked like, well, if I do that, then that will say reset the flow in me again. I need an attribute from out there for that to occur. Or if I choose this, then that would help me. That would do it. So that can be relationships, that can be a house, that can be a car, that can be anything, you know, any kind of attribute that is being suggested to you as, well, this is your outcome. You're in that situation, this is your outcome. This is going to help you. So this is how practical this is. So you all did this, like recognizing that what you actually were doing. It's like you all recognized this as that was the thing that actually perpetuated your selfness, your self-identity, your separation from God. That is what it sustained, so to speak. That's what it kept in place. So now, this is what I mean. That's why it's so huge. It's like now we're actually going to shake that up. We're going to, like, forgiveness is like quite an intrusive, in a sense, like in a pleasant intrusiveness, but it's an intrusion of the peace that you try to keep, and the settlement that you made to say guarantee the continuation of your self-identity. So that's been shaken up today. That's been shaken up by what we're going to read. That's why this is so essential and so fundamental. But also that puts right in perspective what specialness is. So specialness, you could say, is like everything that's related to your self-identity. All the attributes that you use, in fact, to replace the love that you are. Because, yeah, that doesn't need a replacement. It is complete and whole and perfect, and it's working just fine. But in your idea about yourself, that can be different. You use anything for that. We saw that in this little booklet too, like in the 20-minute book. Pain, illness, disease, disaster, death, and all this stuff, like all these attributes you use to confirm your own identity. So and then it's like, yeah, of course that's an attack on God, but God cannot be attacked, so it's your own little nightmare. I know, that's not satisfying, is it? So it's good to laugh about it. It really is. It's like, that's a hopeless situation. You keep protecting yourself. You're trying to keep it all together, and it's not working. Damn. It's crazy, isn't it? This is what we do continuously. Like your mind is made for it. It's doing that all the time. It's trying to hold it together, trying to, oh yeah, I can use that. Wait a minute. Oh, I just lost that. Now I'll pick this up. I'll do this. Oh yeah, that will save me. No, 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 no. I'm like, I still don't feel it. I really don't feel it. And it was suggested, so my brother told me to do that. So he's guilty too. So it's like I'm starting to attack everything around me to see that it is no contribution to my happiness, to my fulfillment. I'm looking for things to fulfill myself. Well, luckily we have this book and this course and this spiritual side, like vision, telling us, hey, wait a minute, you're looking in the wrong place. This is never going to satisfy. This is not going to work for you. Okay, so I think we're ready to read something from the specialness. It will make sense totally. So here we go. The forgiveness of specialness. Yeah, here it is. Here, this is so funny. Forgiveness is the end of specialness. Forgiveness is the end of specialness. Well, so I'm stopping right here. Forgiveness is the end of specialness. So we said before, like in chapter 3, there were two things that we looked at. Like, if it doesn't come with correction, like going vertical instead of trying to work it out here in the horizontal plane, if that doesn't happen, nothing is happening. Then it's more like a judgment. So true, say, forgiveness, I won't even say true forgiveness. No, it's like, if you forgive, it is healed. If you forgive, it is healed. So if you don't experience that, then you're not forgiving. Then you're holding on to something. Then you're still judging, or then you're still trying to hold it off. So just know that you're not forgiving then. Oh, wow. So when you forgive, specialness is gone. It's all, and you know this. So I'm referring back to your feelings, to your experience of forgiveness. You know that this one guy, girl, person, situation, whatever, this one thing that you truly forgave, like brought you in an absolute experience of love, right? You know what forgiveness is. You know how well that feels to let go of your right, of your attack and all this stuff, you know, to finally put down your arms and forgive and melt, so to speak. You know this feeling, you know, so this is what we're talking about. It feels so amazingly good. So amazingly good. There's like you would change it with everything in the world, and you really would. You really would. You don't want to hold on to anything for that to occur in the end. So in the end, when I'm saying that, is when you come to the point where you actually want to forgive, where you feel that yes, suddenly it can open. I can breathe again. Whatever that was. Oh my God, I can't believe it, that I was holding myself into that bind, thinking that I needed something to complete myself. Like, I cannot believe it. It's really fundamental, isn't it? So fundamental. So I love that. I love that. So forgiveness is the end of specialness. So then it doesn't matter anymore. You give up the attributes that were replacing love, and you're actually in an experience of love. That's only the first sentence here. So only illusions can be forgiven, and then they disappear. Only illusions can be forgiven, and then they disappear. It's really like that. When you forgive, it's like the thing that was actually about suddenly is not there anymore. Like, wow, can't believe it. It's gone now. I'm free of it. So it was an illusion. So now you also see what an illusion is. Forgiveness is the release of all illusions, and that is why it is impossible but partially to forgive. No one who clings to one illusion can see himself as sinless, for he holds one error to himself as lovely still. And so he calls it unforgivable and makes it sin. Recognizing this, do you recognize this? Oh, I'm really like making it difficult for you, isn't it? Like, what it says here is so total. So if you don't forgive completely, you're not forgiving at all. So you're still lingering with one part that you want to keep for yourself. It's like, yeah, the heck with it. It's unforgivable. I cannot forgive. I have to hold on to this little disaster for myself. I'm not willing at this moment to do it, you know. So are you forgiving then? No. Can you partially forgive? No, absolutely not. So it's either a total release or you're not forgiving. See, and that's why it's so great. That's why I sometimes say, like, forgiving one is forgiving all. Like, you either do this total. It is like an avalanche. Like, once they start rolling, it goes completely down the hill. And if you cannot have an avalanche a little bit, you know, then it's not an avalanche. So this is really like your letting go of ideas of limitation for yourself. You might as well do it total. So when you do that totally, then you're in the flow, in the new flow, feeling that in yourself, opening things up, but also completely losing control in that sense. You have an experience of losing control, but at the same time being so well supported, and you feel so certain in a sense, like you feel that certainty and embrace that you're actually looking for, and that is fulfilling you completely. And then you come to the point where you say, like, well, what am I holding on to? Why would I want to hold on to anything? And that's exactly the place where you need to be. So it's like those who forgive see nothing to forgive in the end. Like, if you forgive, you have forgiven. So why would you want to hold on to anything? Why would you pick up special attributes to complete yourself after this? You had a great experience of release. Why would you want to pick up anything to limit yourself again? So that becomes really the flow. That's why I mentioned this many times. It's like you come into a flow of letting go, continuously letting go, not holding on to anything. And here's actually then the place where you're free of it. So that's so great. So this is just the first paragraph. Can you imagine? Like, you could spend all day or week or month with it. It's so great. I love it. So I'm going through it one more time. Forgiveness is the end of specialness. Only illusions can be forgiven and then they disappear. Forgiveness is release from all illusions, and that is why it is impossible but partially to forgive. No one who clings to one illusion can see himself as sinless, for he holds one error to himself as lovely still. And so he calls it unforgivable and makes it sin. How can he that makes it sin? So what does that mean? So uses it to separate itself off. So that you really thought that making it sin, making it separate, would be your easy way out. That you don't have to deal with it. Like, okay, I'm gonna park it right here. Yeah, that's. I put that on my little parking lot. Unforgivable, you know. It's like, yeah, big fence around it. I will not touch it for a moment. I'll leave it just for that. It's like what you do is you separate yourself off from something that is actually part of you, and that would set you free if you would actually let it come to you, let it tell you what it wants to show you. So that is what sin is, like the tendency to separate things off, thinking that you don't need to do anything with it, that it can just be there. And thinking at the same time that you can be in an experience of love and extension, that is not a bother. You know, it's like that's not going to influence any of this. Like, no. So that's of course foolishness. It doesn't work, and you know that too, but you try it. Okay, Collins makes it sin. How can he then give his forgiveness wholly? That's impossible. When he would not receive it for himself. For it is sure he would receive it wholly the instant that he gave it so, and thus his secret guilt would disappear for giving by himself. His secret guilt, that's a nice one too. It's like, okay, so this is what we're talking about. You separate it off, and it's like your secret little closet thing. It's like a little box in the closet that you put there. It's like, okay, let's put it right there. No, see, everything is looking fine, there's nothing going on, and you start to believe yourself, but it's your little secret that's still there. So this stuff will come up, and there's nothing, like there are no secrets in the universe. So all this will come to light anyway. In order for you to be free of it, why not right now? Bring it on, you know, to give that away, forgive that. So to give that gift to yourself of receiving something that is actually fulfilling, instead of keeping your little secret closet box somewhere down. So how do you do that? Because I can say this, but how do you do that? How does that come to you? Well, sometimes you just need to share it with someone. That's how easy that is. You need to share your deepest secret with someone, or the things that you have put aside. Like, you will have to do that. So it's like, see your brother as the Holy Spirit. You give it to the Holy Spirit. You share it with a brother that you can trust, and or that is willing to listen to it. So that already is like huge for yourself, especially with the things that have been laying in this box for some time, but still fresh in your mind. So you probably have something popping up right now, don't you? So you can share that. Yeah, you find a place for it to share it, but don't postpone it, because then you will not be free. Then you don't give that gift to yourself and to everyone else. You're set free of it, so it's not a bother to not anymore, and your forgiveness can be total. Alright, so I'm going to leave it like this for now. Let me see how we're doing on time. See, it's always about the same time. It's amazing. So I'm going to play another song, and thank you so much for your attention. And so maybe we probably need a miracle prayer. That's what I feel now. It's like, let's bring the miracle in by just the medium of miracles. It says in the principles, it's like the medium of miracles is prayer. Now that's great, because we have like 150 prayers, I think, in the book here. And so there's must be one that is so perfect for now. Well, let's try this one. It's 349. Today I let Christ's vision look upon all things for me, and judge them not, but give each one a miracle of love instead. Today I let Christ's vision look upon all things for me, and judge them not, but give each one a miracle of love instead. So would I liberate all things I see and give to them the freedom that I seek. For thus do I obey the law of love and give what I would find and make my own. It will be given me because I have chosen it as the gift I want to give. Father, your gifts are mine. Each one that I accept gives a miracle to give. And giving as I would receive, I learn your healing miracles belong to me. Our Father knows our needs. He gives us grace to meet them all. And so we trust in Him to send us miracles to bless the world and heal our minds as we return to Him. Today I let Christ's vision look upon all things for me, and judge them not, but give each one a miracle of love instead. So thank you so much for that. Thank you. Thank you.